I think a lot of times when people say like limiting people's access or limiting access, they really talk about people and maybe places. I don't really hear people talking about things like music and movies and certain things like that. People I do agree with, but I don't hear people talk about that enough. Um, I know for myself, like I just learned the word, not learned, just learned. I just finally caught on to the word like frequent, like frequency. And the girl said, frequency. What frequency are you currently at? What do you frequently visit? Where are you frequently at? Like that's the frequency. Don't quote me on this. I'm still learning. But some notes down too. And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Frequency, frequent, duh. But I didn't catch on until like a couple days ago. And I realized, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And I think that what I kind of thought all the time, like not all the time, but like lately, walking into my femininity journey, and I've realized like, not everybody's clapping for you. Like, sometimes it can be more of a hindrance for you than a clap. They can be somebody that says a little dig all the time. I know something that happened to me was I love wearing dresses, but I didn't wear them for a really long time because that was like the kid me. The kid me is like, oh my gosh, I love dresses. I love wearing them all the time. Like, oh my gosh, put a pretty dress on, let me spin around in it. And as I got older, I'm like, okay, like when I seen people wear dresses, I would think you're doing too much. Like you don't have to wear one every time. You're good. You can wear some pants and tights and tight shirt, and a black shirt was my thing. Black tights and a shirt, that was my go-to every time. So when I transitioned into wearing dresses, comments that I would get kind of was commonly like my sister or somebody, my family, whatever, would say things like, oh, you going to church today? Or it'd be like, do you need some pants? Because remember, I'm wearing dresses. Do you need pants? Do you need pants? Are you sure you need no pants? I have pants back there. I have a shirt for you. You sure you don't want one? And it'd be silent digs like that. That, again, trying to invite me back because they're uncomfortable to a comfortability level that they are comfortable at. So I had to limit access. And I realized, okay. Even certain things that, like worship, I'm telling you the light stuff. But certain things like that, I would be like, And at first I was having like a little bit of problems, but there are just certain things that they would say too. And I realized like, right now, my whole journey in femininity and softness is like a seedling. Right now I gotta protect it because it's so small. Nobody in my family is doing this. Nobody around me that I know is doing this. It's just me right now. And so I have to really protect this thing while I got at the moment, just right now, right? Until it becomes a big tree and then it can withstand the wind. But seedlings can't withstand the wind right now. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna limit access with her. Like, it's okay. So I would limit access and wouldn't give her full access to me. Not anybody that was like saying little comments like that, little things to new version of myself. I would just, not just limit access. I wouldn't cut it off all the way. Just limit access. You don't get to have full access to me like that anymore. Because I realized I'm a seedling. I'm a seedling. Okay. And then I realized when I would get upset, I would watch the music that I would listen to. And I realized the music that I'm listening to is actually making me more upset. It's actually feeding the anger that I have and making it worse. And the words in it, in the music, would not be quite up to tier of where I'm trying to go. It'd be on vengeful stuff, right? It'd be on stuff if you're mad, on numbing your emotions. It'd be on like not letting a person see your face. Like all these words that I'd be like, And I started to see like this music is it's actually tapping into my emotions. It's actually tapping into the ways that I think. And it's actually tapping into the ways of my actions as well. So I started to be more intentional with my music. And now I only listen to, music that is geared towards femininity and softness. Personally, that's where I stay at. Everybody do it different. But give me a second. My son needed me. He's gonna come before y'all. Oh, and movies. Like movies were teaching me stuff too, subliminally. Like just telling me stuff or looking at things. So I'm still working with movies. With music, I'm pretty good. Like I don't have nothing in my thing now where I would just instantly go to, also like when I'm feeling like out of whack or feeling certain ways, I do tend to reach for my softer music because I realize I am hardening. So I would go for that softer music now. So I don't have a problem with that. And then social media as well. Social media can influence us as well and teach us what to focus on and teach us what to value. You know, seeing something constantly all the time as well. I wrote this stuff down. And certain people can teach us habits, reactions, and perspectives. Sometimes all these things are teaching things that you want to learn, and sometimes it's teaching you something new or gearing towards the old version of yourself. And so I learned I have to make sure that I'm more conscious of whatever I frequently am visiting. All of it. Not just people, but also movies, music, social media, and people as well. All of it at once. Because I want to make sure I'm frequently visiting, right? I'm on the right frequency of where I'm trying to go. Give me a second. What I wrote down here was, it's kind of like trying to grow a flower while watering the weeds around it. That doesn't mean those things are evil or that you can never enjoy them again. It just means asking, what does this create more of in me? Who do I become after spending time with this person or with this thing or watching this movie or listening to this music? Does this move me toward the woman I'm becoming or toward the version I'm trying to outgrow? After I listen to this song or watch this movie or this show or spend time with this person, do I feel more peaceful, more grounded, more aligned with who I want to be, or do I feel pulled back into the old emotions and old patterns that I used to have? So something that I want to say. It says, one more thing. Limiting access doesn't mean you have to remove something forever. Sometimes it just means creating enough space for the new version of you to get stronger before reintroducing it. A seedling needs protection from strong winds. A mature tree can handle them. You may be in a season where you're protecting the seedling. And I think I am in a protection and the season of protecting the seedling. And I wonder what season are you in? Are you protecting the seedling too? Are you a more mature tree and you're like, I could withstand the winds now. I'm good to go. If so, let me know how you get there, girl. Because I'm in the process. Not perfection, but progression. But yeah, limiting access means to all of it. If you want to become that new version of yourself and really looking at the water, or what are you frequently at? What are you frequently visiting? What frequency are you on? And for me, I don't want to be at the frequency of where I used to be at. And so I try to monitor and look at, always reaching and going for the version I want to become, because I've never seen it before. So for me, I have to make sure and be intentional about how I go about this. I have all the time in the world because it's a journey. It's not a destination. And intentionality, I think, is how I would get there. Okay. Maybe you should question, or I desire you to think about, what frequency are you on? What do you frequently listen to? What do you frequently watch, see? What do you frequently do and all that? I know, let me tell you a story. I love telling stories. But I had this friend. We're not friends anymore, but I always wish her and pray for her well, right? But we're not friends anymore. I used to be a show I used to watch. I don't know if you know this show. It's called Insecure. It used to be on HBO Max. I seen it way before she did, but I always recommend the show to her back in the day, y'all. And I was like, watch it, because I swear to you, her life and how she felt, like, it would always like match up to that girl. Let me calm down a little bit. That's for me. But she would always, like, she reminded me of Molly and of the main girl. So I was encouraging her to watch it, but also she kept saying, like, what's some good shows that me and my man could watch? So I would always throw it out there. I would always do it to all my sisters, and I would always throw out shows for them to watch, okay? And movies. So it's another show or movie I watched, like 30 Little Secrets, or My Secret, or Secrets. That was a good movie too, but I wouldn't watch it now. So I wouldn't recommend it. Anyways, so I recommended the show to her, Insecure. After I recommended the show to her and her man started watching it. And she would tell me, like, again, I watched this show probably like 4 or 5 times now, back and forth. It was a really good show. I loved this show. And she watched the show. And she was like, man, I so could like I so could like when it comes to I so could like connect with the main girl. That's where I'm at right now, and da 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 and da da, all this other stuff. And I was like, I know that's why I told you, because you sound just like her. But you should watch the ending of the show, because this is the ending of the show. I think that's what you should avoid, right? Leaving the guy. So she watches the show, and she told me she's watching it again and again and again. And I'm like, okay, girl. The first time I understood. The second one, what are we doing? And so she's like, yeah, this show is getting really good. And I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, she starts to make moves like the way the main girl was. I don't remember her name. I remember Molly's name, but I don't remember the main girl's name. But she starts to make moves just like her, leaving her man. I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden, having sex with so many men, and one after another, this, I'm like, whoa, having sex with somebody that they knew. And I started to see, like, whoa, wait a minute. My head started to turn. Like, has this show now became her reality? And I think that we don't think about this enough. And I know I've been in situations before too, where I've watched something and I've realized when I made a decision years later, I'll be like, wait a minute, I may have made that choice because I watched this movie and I'm thinking I'm in a movie. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's like something that I've done. And people around me, I've noticed, has done that too, where movies and shows have greatly influential and kind of program our minds to make certain decisions at certain times of our lives. And we kind of just go with it because it's all at the bottom, subconscious, right? Not the top of our head, but the bottom and deep in our mind, because we saw it played out, right? So we mimic. What they say, art imitates reality, or reality imitates art, one of them. But yeah, I saw that. But it was on the frequency she was at. She was frequently watching that show. And I think of me too, where I was frequently at all the time. In sadness, I learned, I was frequently listening to sad music. When I was frequently mad, I was frequently listening to aggressive, savage, hard music. And so, yes, just my desire for you is just to think about, what frequency are you at? What frequent level, what frequent thing are you going back and back and back to visit, always going back, that you may think now may not really be, I wouldn't say inducive, but I don't think that's the word, may not be very much toward the version of yourself that you are wanting to go now. The new version of yourself. Maybe it's coming home to yourself like I'm doing, or coming to a new version of yourself that you've never seen, like I've never seen. But it's going to require you to do something that you've never done before, and do things that you've never done before and that you've never seen before. Yeah. So just desire you to really think about, what frequency are you at right now? Okay. I love you guys. Bye.